Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. Well, the endless effort to recycle the Bernstein legacy continues with this thing. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely, possibly the most ridiculous thing yet. Bernstein is the film composer. Bernstein, Maestro on Record. Now, this is a coffee table type object with 12 CDs inside, hanging in like these flap things. So you got to be careful you don't turn it upside down, or they're all going to go spilling out on the floor. And it is actually a tribute, not so much to Bernstein, Stein. You know, when I get annoyed with things, I mispronounce them because there's another person here. This is a tribute to legendary photographer Don Hunstein. Stein, something like that. Probably Stein. But he took these pictures. Apparently, Sony has this epic archive, which is a wonderful thing, of photographs and other visual objects relating to the artists who have been Columbia artists over the centuries, popular music and classical music. I mean, like billions and billions of items, which is marvelous. It's lovely. They should issue a picture book of them. Well, this is a picture book of the Bernstein thing. So if you open this up, you get like these pictures, and they're chronological, reflecting Lenny's, I don't have to do the last name, Lenny's time with the album. You see, there's like millions of them. My favorite one, I have to show you my favorite one here because, I actually did go through this. Oh gosh, would that I had centuries of time to do all of this because, oh yeah, this is like horrifying. All right, wait a minute. It's all the way up here at the back in 1976. I particularly like this one because it's so topical. Okay, here we go. There it is. Ah, yes. This is the maestro sucking face with Marilyn Horne during the recording sessions. Let me get up here. During the recording sessions for Falla's El Amor Brujo, which she sings marvelously, of course. So there she is. Just look at that. Isn't that marvelous? Doesn't she look like she'd rather be anywhere else? Seriously? And note, he's sitting there with the cigarette in his hands, which of course opera singers just love to be around, billowing clouds of cigarette smoke. It's so good for their voices. But of course, the wonderful thing about this is, I see this in light of the recent news about, that Spanish soccer coach who's just like, he's gotten like arrested now and he's had to resign all of his positions for kissing the World Cup Spanish soccer player person, and the international uproar that caused. Oh my, was this a different time, wasn't it? Oh yeah, if those lips could talk. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you get pictures, lots of pictures. And what kind of bothers me about this particular production is not that they're exploiting the same bloody recordings that they've done a billion times, but that it's the ultimate insult, I think, to Leonard Bernstein to say, okay, let's forget about the music. This is about visuals. This is about pictures, images, not sound. Here's a guy who gave his life, his very life, his soul, his blood and sweat and tears, quote the famous rock group, to the creation of sound, of music. And here is a production which is not cheap, which is devoted entirely not to music, to pictures of people doing music. I wonder what he would have to say about that. Artists can be as narcissistic or egomaniacal as they want, but at some point they got to draw the line. And the recordings, we're going to talk about the recordings, you have these. So the only thing you'd want is the pictures. There's 12 discs in here. You see this spine is already cracking as I open it. You hear the creak? There you go. Sings like a hinge, doesn't it? All right. So let's just look and see what's inside. We have it here. They're beautiful notes, lovely essays. It's as hagiographical as anything could possibly be. It really is. It's just all that fawning and slobbering over the man. It gets to be a bit much. And I think this really falls into the much category. So what do we get here? Okay, we get Grieg. Grieg Peer Gynt? No, it's not one of his great recordings. These are divided up into two CDs of orchestral work. So what do you get? The Peer Gynt Suite Number 1, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, not a good performance, especially the climax where the cymbal player comes in late. Oh my goodness, they blow the whole thing. Terrible. Sibelius's Valse Triste. Tchaikovsky's Capriccio Italien, Honegger's Pacific 231, the Bizet Symphony in C. That doesn't go under symphonies for some reason. And then we've got orchestral works number 2 here. A Night on Bald Mountain by Mussorgsky, The Rite of Spring, which is that famous, great, fabulous Rite of Spring. And let's see, Bolero, which is fabulous Bolero. And bits from Debussy's The Martyrdom of Saint Sebastian. Just one tiny bit. I think the reason they have that is because we have Felicia Montealegre, Mrs. Bernstein, in there somewhere. So that's where that went. CD 3 and 4 are symphonies. The symphonies are Haydn 86, Beethoven 3, Mendelssohn 4, and Dvorak 9. Now, these are all very fine performances. They are. But, Bernstein, symphonies, no Sibelius, no Nielsen, no his Hindemith discs. Oh, my gosh. It's not a greatest of. Thank goodness. It's not. It's just a random of. And does anyone who bought, that This Is Bernstein, remember that one? 16 discs. It had all this stuff in it. Virtually all of it, except there was more, because there was more discs. But anyway, we have, let's see, Mahler, Songs of a Wayfarer, and Ich bin der Welt abhanden gekommen with Fischer Dieskau and Bernstein on the piano, and then Mahler 3, which was in every single thing, and the Mahler 5 Adagietto only. So they toss that in there, to give it a little extra leavening. So whatever. Okay, so that's Mahler. CDs 5 and 6, yes. CDs 7 and 8, you've got concertos. Beethoven 2 with Glenn Gould, Liszt 1 with Andre Watts, Sibelius Violin Concerto with Zeno Francescatti, none of which are performances that are at the top of the thing there, food chain. Then we've got the American album, America in the wider sense, which is a good thing. Revueltas's Senza Maya and Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue and An American in Paris, Ives' The Unanswered Question for the billionth time, Copland's 4 dance episodes from Rodeo, and the Barber Adagio. That's the American album. Then we've got opera. This is a bit of a mess, frankly, because you've got, well, first of all, it's orchestral music, mostly. You've got the Carmen Suite Number 1, which is on the same disc as the Peer Gynt Suite Number 1. So they just stuffed that in there. And the Dance of the Hours from La Gioconda and Rossini's William Tell Overture. And then from Falstaff, the full recording of the opera, the final fugue thing, Tutta nel mondo e burla, with all those people. Then the Tannhäuser March and the Prelude and Liebestod from Tristan and Isolde, and Rosenkavalier, Ist ein Traum, the trio at the end, and some other things here. From the Rosenkavalier set. And that's it for opera. It's a strange collection of Stiglitz. Then we have 2 of Bernstein, the composer. How many times are they going to do that? You've got The Age of Anxiety with Philippe Bontremont, Symphony Number 2, The Serenade with Isaac Stern on the violin, the Overture to Candide, The West Side Story, Symphonic Dances, 3 dance episodes from On the Town, On the Waterfront Suite. This is all top-notch Bernstein stuff. Of course it is. It's only that there's so many performances of it. Reissues and reissues on top of reissues on top of reissues. And then finally, The Pianist. You have his Mozart 17th Concerto and the Shostakovich 2. You don't have the Ravel Concerto in G, interestingly enough. Instead, he plays the 7 anniversaries for piano, and that is the 12 discs. All the rest of this, thick thing is photography. And very good photography, don't get me wrong. But what on earth are you going to do with a book full of pictures of Leonard Bernstein? I mean, I get it. If his family wants this so that they can like show the grandkids, okay, fine. But the rest of us? Who is actually going to like come home from work one day, take their shoes off, get a snack, start working on dinner and say, wait, I have to go get my fix of Leonard Bernstein photographs. Ugh, craziness, absolute craziness. But there you go. If you want it, there it is. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.